In this exercise, we're going to write our own sentences using relative clauses as like number 1. I bring the dictionary every day. So after putting the relative clause, it becomes I bring the dictionary which my sister bought me yesterday. Because the dictionary is a thing, we use which to refer to it. Let's also go on to number 2. We go to the park very often. Probably, I can use a relative clause to talk about the park as an object in its sentence. We go to the park. So we use where to talk about the park because the park is a place. So we go to the park where I walk my dog. Okay, very often. So we go to the park. Which park is it? It's the park where I walk my dog. Okay, so we use where to refer to the park. We go to the park where I walk my dog very often. Okay, so we extended the meaning of the park, specifying the park. And for number 3, Cindy lost her watch. Let's look at the sentence. Shall we try to extend the meaning of the watch? Like Cindy lost her watch. And then for watch, we use which to talk about it because it is a thing. So Cindy lost her watch, which her mum bought her last year. Let's say Cindy lost her watch which her mum bought her last year. This is the relative clause to describe the watch, to specify the watch. This is the watch which her mum bought her last year. And then the reason why I use bought here is that last year it's a past event, and this is why we use a past tense to talk about it. Okay. Let's also look at number 4. For number 4, the job was boring. Let's try to extend the meaning of the job. The job, say for example, which I need to write a lot, was boring. Okay, so let's find the relative clause. It's here. The job which I need to write a lot was boring. Using the relative clause, we use which to talk about the job. But there is something wrong here because the sentence is actually in past tense. And as it is a past event, I have to change my relative clause also to past tense. The job which I needed to write a lot was boring. So this is the correct answer. Okay. Let's also go on to number 5. For number 5, there were 3 girls. There's only one thing we can describe, we can extend meaning using relative clause, that is 3 girls. Let's try to do it. There were 3 girls. So for girls, I will use who to talk about them. So there were 3 girls who did not go home last night. Oh, the girls must be quite naughty because they didn't go home. So we can have the sentence here. There were 3 girls who did not go home last night. Who to refer to the 3 girls because they're people. And then did not go home. We use past tense here because the original sentence was were here. It's to talk about some past event, so it's something past already. That's why past tense, and then did not, past tense, last night, it's also in past tense. There were 3 girls who did not go home last night. Let's also look at number 6. Number 6 is to talk about computer. So let's put the sentence. The computer it's a modern invention. So this time I would like to use a relative clause to talk about invention. So the computer, it's a modern invention. And then for modern invention, because it is a thing, we use which to talk about it. The computer is a modern invention which helps people a lot in their daily life. Alright, so the relative clause is here. We use which to talk about the object of the sentence. A modern invention is the object of the sentence. The computer is a modern invention which helps people a lot in their daily lives. Because modern invention is a singular object, so which it's also singular. That's why for the verb, I need to put an is. This is the answer. Let's also go on to talk about number 7. Number 7 is it's a question. So what we can extend the meaning, what we can put a relative clause, it's after the man. Say for example, who was the man? The sentence was originally in a past tense, so for the relative clause, probably I will also put a past tense. Who was the man? Who, because a man, we will use who to talk about it. It's a person. So who was a man who followed you for a long distance? Relative clause here, who followed you for a long distance. Who is to talk about the man, and then followed. The man followed you. Okay, so who was the man who followed you for a long distance? Let's also look at number 8, which is the last one. The boy won the championship in the swimming gala. Let's try to specify, let's try to tell people who the boy is. So the answer probably can be the boy. So put a relative clause here. Who? Who is to talk about the boy? Say for example, of course, winning the championship, it must be someone who can swim very fast. So the boy who swam the fastest, okay, won the championship in the swimming gala. Okay, this is the relative clause I put. The boy who swam the fastest. As in past tense because the original sentence is also in past tense, and we use who to talk about the boy. And of course, some of you will ask, how about we also extend the meaning of the championship or the swimming gala? Is it also possible? Of course, yes. You can also put a relative clause to talk about the championship. Say for example, after the boy, I can say won the championship, which is, oh sorry, it should be which was because it's in past tense, the biggest prize Okay, we use the biggest prize to talk about the championship because he's getting first place, so of course it is the biggest prize. So the boy who swam the fastest won the championship, which was the biggest prize in the swimming gala. The swimming gala as the prepositional object, it can also be extended. It's like in the swimming gala. And then of course for swimming gala, it's a thing. So we will use which was the most important event of the year. Okay, also which here. Alright, the whole sentence becomes the boy who swam the fastest won the championship, which was the biggest prize in the swimming gala, which was the most important event of the year. After extending the meaning, after extending the sentence with relative clauses, it becomes a very, very long one. Okay, so just remember the subject can be extended, the object can be extended, and also the prepositional object can be extended using relative clauses.